My third key matchup. Mike McCarthy versus Mike McCarthy. Big Mike. Boy, look, make no bones about it, man. Big Mike was not in his bag on Sunday, and he'd tell you that. He would tell you that. And what I do not want to see or start to see is this offense. He loses the offense, and he loses one of his biggest weapons like a CD Lamb. With that said, the details that they preached in the offseason, we did not see those things on display on Sunday. We saw some of it earlier in the year for sure. We ain't see that on Sunday. We in week 5. I get there's going to be some growing pains because I was told this was going to be mostly the same offense. Nah, they pretty much scratched the whole offense and trying a bunch of different things that we didn't do previously. So yeah, sure, growing pains, whatever, Mike. However, when your whole thing is details, I appreciate the details. But when those details aren't happening, and they're consecutively not happening on possessions and plays and whatnot, it's a scary proposition if you go up against a good defense. I'm not just saying that. Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner broke down some of these things about the details. And so we're going to go back into the film room or the lab via Kurt Warner, and we're going to listen to him. I'm going to play the whole thing because the whole thing is like 6 minutes or something like that. But we'll play part of Kurt Warner. I'm going to show you a play where the details actually mattered and worked for the Cowboys early in the season. Then Kurt's going to show you how another team does it. So here's Kurt Warner talking about the details that the Cowboys lacked in the game.
I'm a guy that's all about the details. You guys know that if you watch my study ball and pay attention to the stuff that I break down. So in this particular play, Dallas is going to run a double slant over here to this side. So we'll run it real quick, see the double slant. So this isn't the interception. This is actually one that happened earlier in the game. So a couple things I want you guys to pay attention to. The first thing I want you to recognize is that they're on the backside hash. So when you're on the backside hash, obviously you're going to cut down the space that you have over here to isolate because you're really trying to isolate this linebacker. He gets wide, you throw it underneath him. If he stays tucked inside or really just hesitates, you're going to hit the guy outside. But here's where details become so important. That as you watch this play, what I want you to notice is that both receivers run their routes at the same depth. Okay, so hardest thing for a quarterback is what we're trying to do is see movement. But if both of these guys are running their routes at the same depth, it's impossible to be on time to the outside throw unless you're just guessing ahead of time, because you can't get a read off of the inside linebacker unless this guy makes him do something. And so if he's going to push up 5 yards and he's going to push up 5 yards and you've got to throw it as this guy's breaking out of his 5-yard slant, how do you get a read off of this guy until this guy breaks? So one of the details that I've always run with double slant is I run this guy on a one-step slant. One-step slant, three-step slant. One step so I can get a read. I can get an idea of what this guy's doing. So if he does push through on the one step, I can react back to the inside. Otherwise, I have no chance. So we get that read, and then this guy comes out of his break later than the other guy. So you see it right here, and I think this is Dre Greenlaw right here. He's just, right, he's not doing anything. And so he's not really jumping outside. So you really want to be able to throw the outside slant. But again, you can't throw the inside, you can't throw the outside because they're both on the same plane. And actually how it plays out, you see CD Lamb is actually shorter than the inside receiver on the double slant. So timing is everything on this particular play, right? He should be going inside to this defender right here. And then again, more details. Dallas is running a little hook outside over here, and we're going to put the back right underneath this inside slant. Why not put the back over there to the strong side? So if this guy wants to push wide to the hook, we just replace him right there. But details are everything.
And the reason why I have this play up, my bad, Cowboys Nation, let me go ahead and reset this, is because if you look at earlier in the season, we ran something similar. Now, what you don't see in that breakdown is he talks about where the ball is at via the hash or whatnot. So the ball is actually on the oppo hash of the 3x2 set. And he talked about the details. We saw a lot of those details early in the season. This was a play, which was a big play too. It was on 4th down. If you look at the top of the screen, you guys can see my cursor. Yes, you can. Now, this isn't a 2x2 set that we saw against the 49ers, but similar thing, get a double slant and just watch how these guys push the field and the details happen to matter. At the snap, I'm going to slow it down now. Look how he cuts off his route quickly, as Kurt Warner talked about. And you'll see CeeDee Lamb push this guy up the middle of the field, which then opens this thing up for a pitch and catch, 1st down for our guy, Brandon Cooks. Again, the details matter. These guys aren't cutting on the same plane, and this happened again later in the game against the 49ers. But that's what he's basically talking about. Now, he also shows an example of how this is run in, I believe, Cincinnati. So we'll let the play run and let him listen. Or we'll listen, I should say.
Okay, and this is where I just jumped to, because now it's the Cincinnati Bengals. First thing we notice, they're on the opposite hash. So if they're going to run double slants, they're going to give themselves space and force this guy to cover more ground. That's a huge key on double slants. Or we can get spacing between these two so we get more room if we want. What I want you to watch, what does the inside guy do? Look at the difference in timing of these two slants. Inside guy goes. Now we get a read on this guy before I have to throw it. You look at Joe Burrow. He's not ready. He's not having to throw this ball yet. Ball doesn't have to come out yet. But he's able to get a read off of the inside guy because we go one step on the inside. Jamar Chase does a good job of pushing up to his depth, even with the press. He gets deeper. Look at the separation between the two. We get our read off of that linebacker. Even though it's not a great throw by Joe, you see the spacing that we have right there between the two, making this play easier. And those are the details that I'm talking about. Details determine everything. Winning and losing, positive plays, negative plays, details.
Can be a detail-based offense, especially if you're going to be a lot of short, quick pass game offense, if you're not going to harp on them even during the season. Can't do it, won't do it. I mean, look, there's a lot of things we can talk about in regards to the design of the offense, but that's just one of them, right? Another thing, he's got to open it up, I think, a bit more on the early downs. I get in his archaic West Coast offense, he's trying to use a quick pass game as the supplement to the run game. I get that, but everything can't be quick or people will sit on it. You need to have some type of intermediate or deep shot concepts. Like it has to marry with the quick game, I think. But there was a fantastic article on The Ringer regarding McCarthy's penchant for the quick game early on. And I'm going to read a couple excerpts from it. All right, quote. On rundowns, which True Media considers any play of first down or second and medium, Prescott is completing 71% of his passes with an on-target throw rate that ranks 5th best in the NFL. Well, that sounds good, right? But he ranks 20th in both yards and EPA per dropback on those plays, and 35.7% of his rundown completions have lost EPA per play for the Cowboys, the 4th highest mark in the league. So Dak is executing the plays that are being designed. This is from him, but the play designs aren't very good. Now, in obvious passing situations, he's been far more efficient. While he ranks 11th in EPA per dropback overall on pass plays, if you strip out the play action and screen passes, which are more dependent on play design rather than a QB's processing skills, he jumps to 5th, according to True Media. So Dak is still Dak, but he says he's stuck in a poorly designed offense. It's not what I signed up for here. He says there's more static and symmetrical formations with half-field concepts to either side. We talk about that a lot. It's a generic-ass offense, according to him. It's an NCAA 14-ass offense. It's like someone searched football play on Getty Images and turned the results into a playbook. Eesh. Says, I hate watching it, but I'm sure opposing defenders love it because it makes their job easier. All the complexity is stripped out because of the scheme, so it's easier for defenses to sit on some of McCarthy's favorite play calls. For example, Dallas has run double slant concept 15 times this season. Only the Bengals, ironically, as we just watched both of those guys get broken down by Kurt, only the Bengals have run it more. And the Cowboys are averaging negative .40 EPA on those plays. And it's because the defense knows those routes are coming. Hey, coach, I ain't signed up for this, coach. No. Hey, coach, look, bro. When you told me 70%, 30%, whatever it was, God damn it, I believed you. Thought we was doing situational. I thought we was changing things situationally. Like I said yesterday, I don't mind if the offense is like this when you're up big, when you're, just, hey, we got to end the game, or we're just working within the flow. We don't got to do nothing crazy. But that was the game. Like the 49ers was the game to show your offense. And we came out the game with our wide receivers running less than 2 yards per route, and two of the guys ran less than 1. So, look, man. Yes, your version of the West Coast, did it bog down the end? Did it get rid of most of the interceptions minus what happened in the second half against the Niners? Sure. But what did it cost you? Did it cost you everything? Told you, I'd rather throw this thing and we end the season 32 tutties, 14. I'd rather that than this. So McCarthy is going to have to fight McCarthy in this game. I do. I think so. Now, I'm not saying he's going to have to go crazy and change everything up in this game. You can't do that, I think, week to week. You're going to have to, maybe in the bye week, you alter some things. But if we're going to come out here and allow teams to just sit on these short routes and we're not going to alter it. You ever see Players Club? Trouble. It's going to be trouble, man. It's going to be trouble. So he's going to have to do a better job of that on Sunday. Add some more wrinkles to this. Nothing crazy, but just add some wrinkles for this week to walk out of here with some momentum offensively into the bye week.